Have you ever heard of a fruit so sweet that it tastes better than sugar? Yet instead of harming your body, it actually helps heal diabetes. Imagine a natural gift that was hidden away, forgotten by time, and buried by industries that never wanted you to know its secret. This isn't fantasy, it's real, and today we're going to uncover it together. Welcome to Forgotten Leaf Secrets, the place where we bring back nature's wisdom, reveal suppressed superfoods, and expose the remedies that can change your life. Sugar surrounds us everywhere. It hides in our tea, our desserts, our sodas, even in foods we don't expect. And while it gives us pleasure for a moment, it silently destroys the body over time. Diabetes, obesity, heart disease, all of these are fueled by one common enemy: sugar. But imagine if nature had already given us a fruit sweeter than sugar itself. That doesn't harm your body. Instead, it helps heal it. That's where our story truly begins. Long before modern medicine, villagers and healers knew about this fruit. They didn't see it as a luxury, they saw it as a gift. Elders used it to treat those struggling with blood sugar, while children enjoyed it as a natural sweet treat. Just a small piece was enough to make you feel like pure sugar was melting on your tongue. Yet inside your body, something extraordinary was happening. Glucose levels were being balanced, insulin was supported, and energy was restored. Think about it. A treasure growing freely in nature. Fruit that costs nothing, yet carries the power to fight one of the world's most dangerous diseases. But here's the mystery. If this fruit is so powerful, why don't we hear about it today? Why has its name been erased from textbooks? Why do billion-dollar industries that profit from artificial sweeteners and diabetes drugs never mention it? The truth is deeper than you think. And the more we uncover, the more shocking it becomes. The truth is deeper than you think, because this fruit was never just food. It was part of culture, tradition, and survival. In ancient villages across Asia and Africa, healers carried it in small pouches, offering it to those who struggled with weakness or unstable blood sugar. It was seen as a sacred gift, a fruit that could sweeten life without destroying it. Stories passed down through generations spoke of travelers who carried this fruit on long journeys. Just a bite would give them energy, keep their minds sharp, and protect them from fatigue. Farmers believed it was a blessing from the earth, a symbol of balance between sweetness and healing. And yet as time moved forward, these stories began to fade. Why? Because industries that thrived on processed sugar and artificial sweeteners had no interest in a natural alternative. Imagine the billions they would lose if people discovered a fruit that could satisfy cravings and heal diabetes at the same time. Slowly, the fruit was labeled as insignificant, its name buried, its history erased. But legends never die. In hidden corners of villages, elders still whisper about it. They say this fruit is sweeter than sugar, but it heals the sick. And today, we are bringing that legend back into the light. Because the more we uncover, the more astonishing this fruit becomes. Imagine a fruit so rare that it was once offered to kings and healers as a sacred gift. It was just eaten for taste. It was celebrated for its power to restore balance in the body. Ancient texts describe how this fruit could calm the mind, strengthen the heart, and bring energy to those who felt weak. Travelers carried it across deserts and forests, believing it would protect them from exhaustion. In some cultures, it was even used in rituals, symbolizing purity and healing. But as centuries passed, the fruit slowly disappeared from mainstream knowledge. Modern science turned its attention to artificial sweeteners, chemical medicines, and processed sugar substitutes. The industries that thrived on these products had no interest in reminding the world of a natural alternative that could challenge their profits. And so, the fruit was forgotten, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to rediscover it. Today, that rediscovery begins here, because this fruit is not a myth, it exists. And its healing powers are backed not only by tradition, but by modern research that confirms what our ancestors already knew. Modern research that confirms what our ancestors already knew has started to surface. And the results are astonishing. Scientists who studied this fruit found compounds that naturally regulate blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce the dangerous spikes that come after meals. Unlike artificial sweeteners that trick the body and often cause more harm, this fruit works in harmony with your system, supporting balance instead of breaking it. Imagine the impact. A fruit that not only satisfies your sweet cravings, but also protects your pancreas, strengthens your metabolism, and lowers the risk of complications from diabetes. Researchers describe it as a functional food, meaning it doesn't just feed you, it heals you. And yet, despite these findings, the fruit remains hidden from mainstream awareness. Why? Because industries that profit from sugar addiction and diabetes medication have no interest in promoting a natural cure. Think about the billions spent every year on insulin injections, pills, and artificial sweeteners. If people discovered that a simple fruit could help them manage diabetes naturally, those industries would lose their grip. That's why this fruit has been buried, labeled as insignificant, and kept out of the spotlight. But the truth cannot stay hidden forever. Today, voices are rising again. Nutritionists, herbalists, and independent researchers are rediscovering this fruit, calling it the forgotten miracle. They believe it could change the way we fight diabetes, offering hope to millions who struggle daily. And the best part? This fruit doesn't come from a lab, a factory, or a billion-dollar company, waiting straight from nature, waiting for us to remember its secret. It comes straight from nature, waiting for us to remember its secret. But to truly understand its power, we need to look closer at what this fruit is like. Imagine holding it in your hand. Small, delicate, yet bursting with sweetness that feels almost unreal. Its skin carries a gentle shine, and inside, the flesh is soft, juicy, and filled with compounds that scientists now recognize as natural healers. The taste? Sweeter than sugar, yet without the bitterness or the crash that refined sugar brings. It melts on your tongue, leaving behind a refreshing aftertaste that feels pure, almost cleansing. Villagers once described it as sweet medicine, because every bite was both pleasure and cure. Unlike processed sweets that drain your energy, this fruit restores it, giving you strength, focus, and balance. But here's the most fascinating part. This fruit doesn't grow in giant plantations or factories. It thrives quietly in nature, often overlooked, sometimes even dismissed as ordinary. And yet, hidden within its humble appearance lies a treasure that could change the way we fight diabetes. It's not rare because it's impossible to find. It's rare because people stopped looking. Generations ago, children would run through fields to pick it. Elders would dry it for remedies, and travelers would carry it for long journeys. Today, most of us walk past it without even knowing what it is. That's how deeply forgotten it has become. But now, step by step, we are uncovering its identity, and soon, the name of this fruit will be revealed. Soon, the name of this fruit will be revealed. But before that, let's step into the places where it still quietly grows. Picture small villages surrounded by green fields, where elders walk through the land and point to plants that most outsiders would ignore. Hidden among ordinary shrubs, this fruit thrives, waiting for someone curious enough to taste it. In tropical climates, it grows naturally, soaking up the sun and rain, producing sweetness that feels almost magical. Farmers once believed it was a blessing from the heavens, because it gave them energy during long harvests and protected them from weakness in some cultures. It was offered during festivals, symbolizing abundance and healing. But here's the irony. While modern society spends billions on artificial sweeteners, chemical medicines, and processed sugar substitutes, this fruit quietly continues to grow in nature. It's untouched, unadvertised, and almost forgotten. It doesn't need factories. It doesn't need marketing. It simply exists, carrying within it the power to heal. Imagine walking past it without knowing. Imagine millions of people suffering from diabetes, searching for solutions, while this fruit waits silently in the soil. That's how deeply hidden it has become. And yet those who know its secret still whisper, this fruit is sweeter than sugar, but it heals the sick. The time has come to bring that whisper into the open. Because the world deserves to know what has been forgotten. The world deserves to know what has been forgotten. Because this fruit is not just a sweet miracle, it is a scientific wonder. Modern researchers who dared to study it found that its sweetness comes from natural compounds that are far more powerful than ordinary sugar. These compounds don't spike blood glucose, instead they help regulate it, making this fruit a natural ally for those fighting diabetes. Imagine eating something sweeter than sugar, yet watching your blood sugar remain stable. That's the magic hidden inside this fruit. Scientists describe its active compounds as glucose guardians because they protect the body from sudden rises and crashes, unlike artificial sweeteners that confuse the body. This fruit works in harmony with your system, supporting balance and healing. But here's the shocking part. Despite these discoveries, the fruit is still ignored by mainstream industries. Why? Because if people knew about it, billions of dollars spent on sugar substitutes and diabetes medication would be at risk. That's why the fruit was buried in silence, labeled as insignificant, and kept away from public knowledge. Yet whispers continue. Herbalists call it the forgotten miracle. Nutritionists say it could change the way we fight diabetes. And those who taste it for the first time are stunned. How can something so sweet be so healing? The answer lies in nature's design. This fruit was never meant to harm. It was meant to restore. And now, step by step, we are moving closer to its identity. Step by step, we are moving closer to its identity. And now, the moment is near. For centuries, this fruit has been whispered about in villages, praised in herbal traditions, and quietly studied by scientists who dared to look beyond the mainstream. Its sweetness is legendary, sweeter than sugar itself, yet its healing power is what makes it unforgettable. This fruit is known as miracle fruit, a small red berry that looks ordinary at first glance. But inside it carries nature's most extraordinary secret. When you taste it, something magical happens. Your tongue transforms. Sour foods taste sweet, bitter flavors turn pleasant, and your cravings for sugar fade away. But beyond this fascinating effect, researchers discovered that miracle fruit can help stabilize blood sugar, making it a natural ally for those fighting diabetes. Imagine the possibilities. A fruit that not only satisfies your sweet tooth, but also helps protect your health. No chemicals, no artificial processing, no billion-dollar factories. Just a gift from nature, growing quietly, waiting to be remembered. And yet, despite its power, miracle fruit remains hidden from most of the world. Why? Because industries that thrive on sugar addiction and diabetes medication, Dante, want you to know about it. But here, on Forgotten Leaf Secrets, we bring back what was buried, and uncover the wisdom that was silenced. And today, you finally know the truth, the fruit's sweeter than sugar. But healing for diabetes is miracle fruit. The fruit's sweeter than sugar. But healing for diabetes is miracle fruit. And now that you know its secret, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue relying on processed sugar and artificial sweeteners? Or will you turn back to nature's wisdom? The wisdom that was hidden, suppressed, and almost forgotten. This is more than just a story about a fruit. It's a reminder that nature holds answers we've ignored for too long. It's answers that can heal, protect, and transform our lives. Miracle fruit is proof that sweetness doesn't have to come with pain, and that healing can be as simple as tasting what the earth has already given us. So if you found this journey eye-opening, if you believe the world deserves to rediscover these forgotten secrets, then support this mission. Your support helps us uncover more hidden remedies, more suppressed superfoods, and more wisdom that can change lives. Like this video, subscribe to Forgotten Leaf Secrets, and share it with those who need hope. Together, we'll continue to explore the mysteries of nature and reveal the secrets that were never meant to be lost. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll meet again in the next video.